In this lesson, we will use the Move tool, which is one of our modify commands. Inside the Move REVIT file, open the interior door head detail from under drafting views in the project browser. By double-clicking on interior door head detail, it'll open up that drafting view. On the left-hand side, we can see the door head detail the way it will look when it's completed. On the right side, we have parts that create the door head detail, but we need to use our editing tools to fix the detail. For this lesson, we will learn how to use the Move tool to move certain parts into place. Start by moving your cursor down toward the right-hand side and clicking on the break line. When the break line is highlighted, move your cursor up until you see what looks like 4 different little arrows. When you see those 4 arrows, click, hold your mouse button down, and drag the break symbol up until it's in line with the other break symbol over on the left-hand side. Then let go. Those 4 arrows that we saw while using this kind of move command indicate the move command, which we can find underneath modify up on the ribbon. This is the easiest way to move an object. Click on it and then drag it into the appropriate location. But it has a couple of different drawbacks. One is that it makes it a little bit harder to move multiple objects. You still can, but it's a little harder. The second thing, and the reason why we tend to use the move command on the ribbon a little bit more often, is because you can specify dimensions when you use the move command. An example of that would be to move your cursor over and select on this piece of chipboard that's going straight up and down on the side. If we select on the chipboard, move your cursor up, then select on Move. We can then pick a base point, start to move over in a direction. When you move over in that direction, you will get what's called a temporary dimension. When you see that temporary dimension, you can type in a dimension, such as 2 inches. Then hit Enter on your keyboard. By doing that, it will move that 2 inches in the direction of that temporary dimension. In this case, it's moved that board over to the correct location. And we can see this board is the same as this board over on the left-hand side. The next thing I would like to do is move the lines that we see here and here over so that they're lined up just to the right of that board that we just moved. These 2 lines are the same 2 lines that we can see here and here with the dash line. To do that, you can click over here to the right-hand side, hold your mouse button down, and you will create a box, and it will look like a dash box. This is called a crossing window. When you see a crossing window, it means that anything that's touching this box will get selected. If you'd selected on the other side of the line and then moved over to the lines, your box would have looked like this. This is a regular window, and all of your lines would need to have been inside of this box in order to pick the lines. So it made more sense to click over to the right-hand side, move to the left, because all we needed to do was touch these lines with the box to execute the move command. You can now let go. These 2 lines will now be selected. You can zoom in by spinning the wheel on your mouse. Now move up here and select on Move. For a base point, it's not necessary, but I like to select directly on the line because it gives me more control as to where I can move on the screen. Click once on the line. Now move over in this direction. Once you get right with this line right here, it'll go straight over. Click, and now those lines have both moved over that dimension from the right-hand side over to the left-hand side. And if you zoom out, you can now see that those lines are now in place. So by using the Move command, you have 2 different features that you can use. One is selecting directly on the object, gripping onto it, and just moving it to the location that that object needs to be moved to. The other way is to select on one object or on multiple objects, then specify the dimension that you need. Those objects that you have selected will move that direction for the dimension that you specified.